What up folks, Graphics Rogue here. You know what I love? What? No. Well, okay, yes. But other than that, I love Total War. Shocking, right? I know. But I didn't always love it. Indeed, there was a time, a dark time, where I simply liked it very, very much. First game I got was Rome 1, after that Rome 2 because of how much I liked Rome 1. But then I couldn't play it for over a year, maybe because my computer couldn't handle it. It could barely handle Rome 1. Story of my PC life there, always playing catch-up. I played these games for a while, but eventually I drifted away from them. Partly because it was so hard for me back then, and partly because the graphics were getting so dated compared to other games, and there was less and less for me to discover within them. I was just getting tired of them. But lo, what hath raised from the earth but our true Lord and Savior? Not some hippie magician with the Chosen One complex, but a holy hive mind of glorious stature and magnificent intent. And yea, the almighty Lord of Tubes looked down upon my wretched form and bestowed mercy. He laid his delicious words upon my unworthy soul.
Take this, my son. 'Tis a mod of Total War Rome, for it contains a bigger map, new settlements, and even several new units on every faction. Not that you will ever use any faction other than Rome or Macedon, for the rest of them are gay. You know nothing of their history to make them interesting to you. Take this, and yea, you shall never have to suffer the horrors of the outside again, for it is hot, and the sun hurts your sensitive skin. Now go, my son, and rejoice!
So in a nutshell, I discovered mods and it completely changed how I played and viewed Total War games forever. And when I discovered the Elder Scrolls Nexus, I was just fucking blown away. I still play Skyrim and Oblivion. I'm not done yet. I haven't found everything yet, because the mods add so much cool shit. And since there are so many cool shows spotlighting and reviewing the great Skyrim mods out there, I thought I would make something similar, showcasing the amazing Total War mods. Because seriously, these mod creators do not get nearly enough credit or gratitude for what they do. They make expansions. Expansions CA couldn't possibly hope to make, not nearly in the quality anyway, and they do it for free. It's just fantastic. They make almost completely new games. Before Rome 2 came out, we already had Rome 2. Before Medieval 3 comes out, we already have Medieval 3. And because almost all the Total Wars have so many great mods out there, we're not going to focus on any one game. I will be highlighting / reviewing mods from all over, and if it ever seems like I'm favoring mods from the earlier games than ones from the later games by having more of them featured, I don't mean it. It's just after the Warscape engine, modding has gotten a lot harder and more complicated. I was able to make mods for Rome and Medieval 2 because it was far more user-friendly. Warscape engine is a little too complicated for me to delve into, so I believe that cut the modding community down by a significant amount. And so not only do less mods come out of the Warscape engine games, but less overhaul mods come out. Mods that change everything, like Third Age. So without further ado, let's start off the show by leveling any future bias by making episode 1 all about Rome 2. Starting with our first mods, the Kin Unit Pack version 1.3 and the Kin Unit Pack expansion by Old Fox. This is a pretty damn cool mod. It basically adds a whole new race into the game with all new models and everything. The Kin are warriors from China, and they do the bidding of the Kin dynasty, the ruling faction in China at the time. Now with this mod, you'll be able to play as the most mighty and terrifying warriors in all of China, and let the Western world know true fear.
Gentlemen, from this day forward, you will all refer to me by the name Betty.
But isn't Betty a woman's name?
The mod actually comes in 2 packs on the Steam Workshop, the Kin Unit Pack version 1.3 and the Kin Unit Pack expansion. The Kin Unit Pack version 1.3 adds 13 new units from spearmen to swordsmen and cavalry to archers. They even made these very badass looking halberders. Just look at these guys, they're delicious. They all look amazing. This guy has modeled all these new units and armors by scratch, I'm assuming. If not, then I'm glad new unit models like this are even able to be modded into the game. And stat-wise, they all seem to be badasses in one regard or another. The Kin Unit Pack expansion adds in some flavor parts to the UI. The whole thing basically replaces Bactria, so these units are added into the pool with the Bactria units. And what the pack expansion does here is replace the Bactrian flag and descriptions and the little UI images on the campaign with all things that have to do with the kin. As of making this video, I'm not sure if the author is planning on expanding this mod, but I would consider it unfinished at the moment for a few reasons. The faction has all the Bactrian units in its pool of recruitables. They shouldn't be there, I think. Maybe make some of them mercenaries. Different kinds of mercenaries all over the map would flesh out their roster. And make mercenary hiring tech in the tech trees like Carthage has with Hannibal at the gates, to make mercenaries cost a lot less. In the Steam page, it shows your general on the strat map as a kin soldier, but when I played it, it was a Bactrian general. I'm not sure if mine was bugged for some reason. I had no other mods on except for the camera mod, but that's something to keep in mind. And along with the sounds the soldiers makes and the objectives and events still being Bactrian vanilla, there's a lot more the mod could do to really flesh out this whole idea. An alternate timeline where the kin invaded from the east, like the Mongols or the Huns. That is the very definition of dope magnificent. I'm not completely sure about the compatibility with other mods, but all it does is add soldiers and changes some images and descriptions. I would think it's compatible with most other mods, but depending on what other mods you use, you'll have to figure that out yourself. But overall, the kin mods are pretty damn cool, and I think it deserves a look. Next mod up is Total War Imperium Eternum. Do you love Europa Barbarorum? Have you played hours and hours of EB with its in-depth trait and ancillary mechanics, and the massively detailed historical atmosphere? Making your own stories with all the family members along the years? Seeing all the ups and downs that happened to the Germanicus family line for so many years, and after all that, the noble Germanicus overthrows the Emperor and takes the throne for himself, ensuring peace and stability throughout the lands. Now watched after by the kind and noble Germanicus family, unlike those Britannicus scumbags. Oh, if Germanicus wasn't such a noble man, you'd all be crucified at the fucking fork. And when it was finally over, you went back to the other Rome 1 mods and just felt this emptiness, like something was missing. Well, Idreus tries to bring back some of that EB feel with this mod by changing the map, the faction names, the main menu, and a whole bunch of other little things that really scratch that EB itch. Many faction names are changed, like Rome is now the Roman Republic and the Averni are now the Chieftain of Gaul, and the Marian Empire was added as a new faction in the east. The Marian are supposed to be an Indian country, but as of this video, they only make Hellenistic units. I'm going to assume sometime in the future some Indian units will be added possibly, but who knows at this point. A new culture as well as 2 new factions were added. The culture of Imperium and the factions in it are SPQR, the Senate and the People of Rome. They are the Senate faction of Rome and they control the city of Rome. And the Council of Elders. They control the city of Carthage. They both have their own colors and their own faction traits like SPQR's Founding Fathers, which gives a maximum +4 public order from presence of Latin culture, and Council of Elders' Strategic Effort, a +10 movement range for all armies and fleets. Carthage, as well as a few other factions, have been given expanded borders to better fit the historic positions of these nations. There are even some images changed to give a better feel to the whole thing. Loading screens were given a change, some images were pretty cool, but in my version it seemed the top was a bit cut off. And even the UI was given a stony kind of gradient to change things up a bit. The campaign map, the major part of this mod, does look a lot better. A lot meatier, I guess you could say. It certainly gives off that EB feel that he was going for. The mod is compatible with some mods and not with others. The author has given a list on his Steam page. Aside from the Indian faction not being Indian, this mod really does its job at getting that Europa Barbarorum flavor down. On his page, he recommends using this mod with the Legionnaires mod, a mod that reskins many of the units to have that darker, grimier EB feel to them. But at this moment, I'm not sure that that mod is up to date, and people seem to be having some problems with it. But this is a good start for him or other modders to take up from and create a new Europa-type experience in Rome 2. Because unfortunately, the EB team has said they will not be bringing their overhaul to Rome 2 because of all the restrictions in the code. Rome 2 is just not as modder-friendly as the pre-Warscape engine games. And aside from that, they're already working on a sequel, EB2, on the Medieval 2 engine. A very modder-friendly engine, which at the time of this video they say will be out pretty soon, like in months. And that is godlike. You know what? Fuck this video, I'm just gonna go play EB. And I'm back. And the last mod today is Constantine, the Rise of Christianity by the Mac Daddy himself, Dresden, who is a creator of many a dope mod, and who I am sure I will be featuring on this show again. Now, despite what the title would have you believe, this mod has very few, if any, hot 10-year-old boys in it, and really means the beginnings of Christianity, because this mod takes place in the time period where Christianity was really starting to blow across all of Europe with the help of Constantine the Great. The mod is a time period overhaul taking place during the Tetrarchy civil wars that raged between 306 and 324 AD. It is a very cool and very thought out mod that overhauls most everything. There are faction name changes, faction flag and UI image changes, description changes, culture spreading has been changed to religion spreading, and of course most of the units have been given a reskin to better fit the time period. This is a time period where barbarians have been interacting with Rome for ages now, and so they are not the same shirtless, bearskin wearing savages that Caesar fought. They should have weapons and armor more closely resembling Roman equipment. While the Romans have been dealing with the barbarians for ages, and they have been resting on all their victories over the years, not to mention many barbarians are now intermingling with Rome, and thus affecting Roman culture to more mirror their own. So their forces should more closely represent the barbarian influence on these soldiers with long pants, round shields, and armor that just looks more barbarian than the Roman style we are used to, as well as the Romans having many barbarian mercenaries and auxiliaries to work with. There are many new units added to many different factions. Some represent this time period well, others not so much. I don't know, maybe it's just all the time I spent with the Fall of Rome mod and all those documentaries I've seen on this time period, but the weapons and armor just don't look right to me. They look too close to the early Imperial period Romans in a lot of ways, especially those helmets. I forget what they're called, but in all the stuff I've seen, they don't wear those kinds of helmets anymore in that time period. But I suppose I can forgive a bit because this is a generation or two before the Fall of Rome barbarian invasion era, so maybe they would still be wearing a lot of that older armor. I'm not sure, I'm not a historian, although I play one on YouTube. Let me know in the comments if you know the truth about how accurate these armors are for the time period. And also there is no horde mode as far as I can see. But again, a generation or two before the barbarian invasion, so maybe forgiven. Not that I'm one of those guys who has the history stick shoved so far up his butt that he can't enjoy anything that's not 100% accurate, but some stuff I would want to be a little more right than others. Corinthian helmets in 10 BC? Yes. Naked German savages in 324 AD? Not so much. But that's my preference. There are many new factions and faction traits including the Roman Tetrarchy, the 4 emperors of Rome, Constantine in Gaul and Spain, Maxentius in Italy and North Africa, Licinius in Greece, and Maximinus in Egypt, Syria, and Anatolia. The other factions range from the Franks, the Sassanids, and even the Huns. Now, there is a lot of speculation on what the Huns actually are and where they come from. And though there are pros and cons to many theories, most scholars believe they come from in or around the Mongolia region, making them kind of ancestors to the Mongols, also making them Asian. These guys are not Asian. This rubs me the wrong way. Again, my preferences from my beliefs on what I've read and seen and stuff, but I feel like my Huns gotta be an Asian storm, riding from the east to burn everything in their path. So it's kinda disappointing. Please, Dresden, work with old Fox and get those Asian models in here from that kin pack. That would be so dope magnificent. The campaign is, well, Rome 2. The CGI is bad, the AI doesn't build armies, and I only had one major battle in Greece before I steamrolled the rest of Anatolia as Licinius. But that's what mods are for. Some mods are compatible and others are not. He lists some on his Steam page. He says Litharian's better AI recruitment mod is compatible, so that should help to get more AI armies. And it also comes with Hellbent's traits, talents, and toadies? The fuck is a toady? A cool mod that adds tons of more traits and ancillaries to the game to flesh out the experience. Constantine is also 12 turns per year, so you won't be losing your general every 4 turns. Family members have been changed to imperial court and provincial Roman nobles. I like that idea way better than the arbitrary family members that you have no idea the relations of. It's still no family tree, but it's better to think about. So what else can I say about it? It's a really nice mod that has the potential to be one of the top greatest mods for Rome 2. I hope that Dresden keeps updating it and working on it to make it more historical. I also hope he works more on some coding that makes the AI a bit more aggressive and make them build more armies. I hope he makes it to where I don't need to use another mod to flesh out those parts of the game. I'd like it all in one. But all in all, it's a really nice mod. Not quite done yet in my opinion, but it's got the potential to be a GOAT. I urge you all to check it out and support the author, because the more love he gets, the more likely he will stay on the project and turn it into that ultimate Constantine mod we all want. Well folks, those were my mods of the week. I hope you enjoyed the video. I sure enjoyed making it, though I did not enjoy turning the fans off to properly record the sound. It is very fucking hot in this house. Very hot. I will be making more of these because there are a few mods I would really like to just talk about. Whether this becomes a weekly thing, I don't know. I kinda have a hard enough time finding time to record the other stuff I do. But we'll see. Let me know in the comments what you think. Like the video if you like the video. Not only does it give me the warm and fuzzies inside, but I think it also helps me get higher in the YouTube search lists. And that could really help me out. I'm your graphics rogue, and I will see you next time. Peace.